Okay, let us continue. So, what all things are given in the PPT? First, we'll see from our textbook. It is about the human reproductive system, right? So, I asked you people to read this para. This was about the reproduction in human beings. Yes. So, again, in detail, it is given that how sexual reproduction takes place. After that, I have also asked you to read the male reproductive system. So, students, with whatever the contents are given, you have to go through the diagram also. You have to see the labeling because in exam for both the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system, not necessary that you will be asked to draw the diagram. Maybe a diagram is given and ABCD marking is given and you have to name those labelings, so you must know all the parts. Okay, so please go through. This has been already asked for both male reproductive system and female reproductive system. Okay, now after that, few points I have highlighted here. So you can see, you can take a screenshot. I will read or else maybe I'll ask someone to read. Who wants to read? So please read this first para, yellow one.
Yes, ma'am. The male reproductive system consists of portions which produce the germ cells and other portions that deliver the germ cells to the site of fertilization.
So
The
you know which are the germ cells in male, human male. So that is germ cell means gametes. In male it is sperms and in female it is the eggs. Okay. Yes, continue.
The formation of germ cells or sperms takes place in the testes. These are located outside the abdominal cavity in scrotum because sperm formation requires a lower temperature than the normal body
Yes,
temperature.
wait. So this point you must remember. Reasoning questions can be asked where it is asked that why is scrotum located outside the body? Why not inside the body? Because it is always 2 degrees, 2 to 3 degrees less as compared to human body temperature. The temperature of scrotum. Okay. Okay, I'll continue from here. We have discussed the role of the testis in secretion of hormone, that is testosterone, in the previous chapter. Already you know about hormones and all. Also, you have studied about the human reproductive system earlier in the previous classes. In addition to regulating the formation of sperms, testosterone brings about changes in appearance seen in boys at the time of puberty. So, yesterday we saw what puberty is at an age. So, yesterday we saw about puberty. It is the time or it is a stage in human beings where we become sexually active. Yes, so we are preparing our body to reproduce further in future. Okay.
The sperm formed are delivered through the vas deferens, which unites with a tube coming from the urinary bladder. The urethra thus forms a common passage for both the sperms and urine.
Urine.
Along the urine, along the part of the vas deferens glands like the prostate and the seminal
Seminal
vesicles.
vesicles.
Okay, seminal vesicles at the secretion so that the sperms are now in a liquid which makes their transport easier and this fluid also provides nutrition.
Just a minute,
The
Sakshar.
sperm,
Just a minute. Remember this thing. Why the fluid which they are secreting, which these parts are secreting, what they are doing, they are giving the medium for the sperms to move and they are also providing nutrition to sperms. Remember that. Yes, continue.
the sperms are tiny bodies that consist of mainly genetic material and a long tail that helps them to move towards the female germ cell.
Wait. So it is written that it is containing mainly the genetic material. Means what? Your X and Y chromosomes. Yes? In males, always it is X and Y chromosomes. Clear? Till now, is it clear? So these are the direct things which you have already read, students. Nothing new. Yes? Yes, so here female reproductive system, you can see the structure, this is the one. In the PPT also you have seen, this is the shape, something like this, sperms. So you can see here, this is the
Okay.
tail and this is the head. And that is why it is able to move and reach the egg for fusion, like how it is shown here. Can you see here how it is fusing with the egg to form a zygote? Here you can see it is written, just a minute, yes. Yes, in the abdominal cavity. Yes, we have discussed the role of testosterone. In addition to regulating formation of sperms, yes, here the sperms formed are delivered through vas deferens, which unites with the tube. So this is the vas deferens which is giving the sperms. Yes, here you can see the structure. In the scrotum, the sperms are formed, and from this tube, it is passed on, and it it is ejected out from here. Here, okay. So let us continue.
The female reproductive system. The female germ cell or eggs are made in the ovaries. They
Ovaries.
are also ovary. They are also responsible for the production of same hormones.
Some hormones.
Look,
Can you tell me
hormones.
the name of some hormones which are produced by ovaries? Yes, estrogen and one more. Progesterone, correct. Estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen spelling varies. OE is also said, E is also there. So that is not a mistake. So estrogen and progesterone. Now, yes, read this para and then I will read after this the highlighted part. Or else do one thing, you read only the highlighted blue part. Blue part only you read. That I'll explain.
Okay, okay, ma'am. The eggs carries from the ovary to the warmed
Womb.
womb through a thin oviduct or fallopian tube. The two the two oviducts unite
Unite.
into an elastic bag
Elastic bag structure known as the uterus.
like structure known as the uterus. The uterus opens into the vagina through
Vagina.
the vagina through the
Cervix.
cervix.
Okay, just a minute. So these are different parts which are told about a human female, that how the egg is released and where is it released. So it is released. It opens in the vagina. Yes, where actual fertilization takes place. After the fertilization is done, the zygote and then the embryo is implanted in the uterus, and then later on it grows in the human female. Okay. Then here in this paragraph, you will see the sperms enter through the vaginal passage during sexual intercourse. Yes. So the fertilized egg, that is zygote, starts dividing. Of course, the multiplication of cell will take place. The cells will divide and embryo will be formed. Yes, embryo is formed and it is implanted in the lining of the uterus. As I said, as from the beginning, for a girl when after puberty, the girl and the boys after puberty, they are becoming sexually active, right? So they are preparing their body for future, to reproduce. So the lining of the uterus is thicker, yes, and it continues to grow and develop organs to become fetus. This is called as fetus. Okay. Now, in the blue highlighted part, the uterus prepares itself every month to receive and nurture the growing embryo. The lining thickens and is richly supplied with blood to nourish the growing embryo. So that is the only way in which embryo is getting nutrition from mother's blood. Yes?
The embryo gets nutrition from mother's blood with the help of special tissue called placenta.
Placenta.
Yes, This is a disc which is embedded in the uterine wall. It
Uterine
it
wall.
con uterine wall, yes. It contains villi on embryo side of the tissue. On the mother sides are the blood spaces which surround the villi. This this provides a large surface area for glucose and oxygen to pass from mother to the embryo. The the developing embryo will also generate waste substances which can be removed by transferring them into the mother's blood through the placenta. The
Yes,
development
thank
of
you, thank you. So here you can see how actual development of an embryo to fetus. Embryo means after the zygote, after multiplication of cell, your embryo is formed, and when the organ systems are developed, it is called as a fetus. So the complete phase, in this complete phase, how it is getting nutrition, when this fetus is inside the mother's womb, it is also excreting. Yes, its body organs are also functioning. So that excretory product also goes into the blood and it is removed from mother's blood only. Yes, and here you can see the villi. It is increasing the large surface area. So always remember, whenever you see villi or something like this, which is increasing large surface area, means this is for absorption of nutrition or absorption of or taking in of more oxygen, you can say. Okay, so the development of child inside the mother's body takes approximately 9 months. All of us know that. The child is born as a result of rhythmic contraction of these muscles in the uterus. Okay, so this is all about the human male and female reproductive system, which you have read in the book also and which you have seen in the PPT also. Same things are given in the PPT. Let's just let me show it to you. Yes, here. Yes, 8.3.3 we have done. Now, this is related to male reproductive system. What is the role of seminal vesicles? We have seen in this. That is what I have highlighted many things. So you can take the screenshot, you can go through the recording and see what all points I have highlighted. So this is the question, what is the role of seminal vesicles and prostate gland? So the secretions from seminal vesicle and prostate gland provide nutrition to sperms. This makes transportation of sperms easier by providing them a fluid medium. So just now I have explained this to you. Now some questions from here. What are the functions performed by testis? It is used for production of sex cells or male gametes, you can say, that is sperms, and the male sex hormones, that is testosterone. Okay. Then female reproductive system, we have already read. I have highlighted few points there also. Let us see the question. How does the embryo get nourishment inside the mother's body? Just now we read that. And others also, if you have not understood, you can see this answer. The embryo get nutrition from, or else.
How does the embryo get nourishment inside the mother's body? The embryo gets nutrition from the mother's blood stream with the help of a special tissue called placenta. This is a disc like tissue which develops between the uterine wall and the embryo. As the mother eats, the food passes through the digestive tract and becomes broken down into smaller particles. These nutrients travel through mother's bloodstream of fetus through placenta.
Understood? So this is the actual procedure or the transfer of nutrition from mother's body to the embryo. Yes, understood? Good. Okay, so let us move on to next question. Why does menstruation occur? Menstruation. So we'll read about menstruation. So for that, again, I want you to read this 8.3.3c. What happens when the egg is not fertilized? Please read this.
What happens when the egg is not fertilized? If the egg is not fertilized, it lives for about 1 day. Since the ovary releases one egg every month, the uterus also prepares itself every month to receive a fertilized egg. Thus, its lining becomes thick and spongy. This would be required for nourishing the embryo if fertilization had taken place. Now, however, this lining is not needed any longer. So, the lining slowly breaks and comes out through the vagina as known and mucus. This cycle takes place roughly every month and is known as menstruation. It usually lasts for about 2 to 8 days.
Okay, so this is actually what happens in females, that when the egg is not fertilized for every month, as the uterus is preparing itself to receive a fertilized egg, if the egg is not fertilized, it sheds off and the lining breaks, and it breaks and sheds off as blood and mucus. And this process is called as menstruation, which goes on for 2 3 or maybe 8 days, depends. Okay, about reproductive health, what reproductive health is, so we'll see that in the PPT. So just because you are not, you are reproductive, organs are ready, it does not mean that your mind is ready to have sex. It is very important to be mature first. Sometimes there may be pressure from family and friends to get married and start having children. It is important to first be mature enough to think and take a wise decision. So, in general, I can say that whenever after marriage, it is pressure from the family to have babies, to give birth to children. But if the partners, they understand, and if they have planned something, they have some ideas for the future, some planning, so they wait, and until they are prepared, they don't plan to have a baby. So that is how the understanding, basic understanding is. Now, the sexual act requires very close contact between two bodies. So some diseases can also be transmitted by having sex. So these are some diseases in the book. Also, I have highlighted here. Here, I have highlighted the bacterial infections or bacterial diseases like gonorrhea and syphilis, some viral infections like warts and HIV/AIDS. So these are some diseases which are sexually transmitted diseases. These are called as STDs. STD, sexually transmitted diseases. So they can be prevented with a condom. The sexual act can make a woman pregnant. Pregnancy can be avoided in different ways. Now, some mechanical barriers, by changing hormonal balances and by physical blocks. So here, mechanical barriers, condom on penis or covering on vagina. By changing hormonal balances means birth control pills. Control pills means they are medicines which are rich or which are having some hormones which can change the secretion of some other hormones inside your body. IUD is intrauterine devices such as copper T. Physical blocks means with the help of surgery, it can be blocked. In male, blocking the vas deferens. If vas deferens is blocked, they will not be able to release the sperm. Yes, if you remember in the structure only, we have seen the vas deferens from scrotum is taking it out. Isn't it, students? Then in female, blocking the fallopian tube. If the fallopian tube is blocked, they will not release the egg. The sexual act can make a woman pregnant. Pregnancy can be ended by surgery also. How? Abortions can be misused. That is in case of female feticides. How? If some people, if they don't want a girl child, they want to kill the girl child. So abortions in those cases. Abortion means killing the embryo inside a woman's body in the womb, if it is detected that it's a girl and the parents don't want a girl. So prenatal sex determination is banned. That is why it is illegal. So to maintain a healthy sex ratio, let us answer some questions. If a woman is using copper T, will it help in protecting her from sexually transmitted diseases? Actually, no. Because what is the use of copper T? What is the use? It is to prevent the entry of sperms So it does not prevent the transmission of sexually transmitted diseases. It only prevents the implantation. The only safe method that can be used to prevent sexually transmitted diseases is condoms. What would be the reason for adopting contraceptive methods? The reasons for adopting contraceptive methods are to avoid frequent pregnancies, which in turn helps in population control. Also, it helps in taking care of the health of human female woman, to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted diseases, that is STDs. Okay, so shall we move on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are done till here. What are the different methods of contraception? So you can go through the barrier methods, hormonal methods, chemical methods, and surgical methods. Barrier methods, hormonal methods we know using contraceptive pills. Chemical methods, this is another one which was not given in the previous slide. These vaginal pills contain chemicals that kill the sperms. So these are vaginal pills, like very rare, in very rare conditions it is used. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is considered to be superior over asexual because, do you remember in asexual reproduction we saw mostly the offsprings are exact copy of the parents, isn't it? There is no variation in asexual reproduction. But in case of sexual reproduction, there is variation. So it brings about variations in the progeny. Progeny means offsprings. Progeny means offsprings. Yes, they have diversity. So these variations allow organisms to live in diverse habitats with the help of adaptations. On the other hand, asexual reproduction does not bring about variations among the progeny. Progeny means offsprings. Clear? Now, how are the modes of reproduction different in unicellular and multicellular? You can go through this again. How are modes of reproduction in unicellular? Mostly it is asexual, right? In multicellular, it can be sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction, where specialized cells are involved in multicellular organisms. Okay? So you can go through this answer. Please go through the sections which are given in your book, mentioned in PPT and in the book.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.